When a woman was on the phone with her lover, her husband suddenly pushed open the door and walked in. Seeing this, Emily hurriedly hung up the phone. Looking at his wife's panicked appearance, Stephen didn't expose her. That evening, they attended a party. While Stephen was catching up with old friends, Emily secretly snuck away with her lover to a corner where no one was around. The two were discussing where to meet tomorrow, completely unaware that Stephen had walked up from behind.
So I leave you alone for 30 seconds and you elope with the younger man.
He deliberately made a joke to break the awkwardness of the encounter. Through Emily's introduction, he learned that David was a painter. Emily observed her husband's reaction while talking. Seeing that Stephen didn't seem suspicious, Emily's anxious heart calmed down slightly. Using the excuse of visiting David's studio, Stephen successfully got his contact information. After saying this, he pulled his wife away from there. A few days later, Stephen suddenly approached David and exposed the affair between him and Emily. This immediately made David panic. According to Stephen's investigation, David was a complete fraud. His meeting with Emily was all part of David's carefully planned scheme. Not only had David never attended college, but even his mediocre painting skills were learned in prison. After being released from prison, he had swindled all the savings from a widow in San Francisco, then changed his name and came here. By chance, he latched onto Emily, this wealthy woman. Stephen gave David two choices. The first was that he would tell Emily the truth. Once Emily learned that David was a scumbag, she would definitely break up with him decisively. The second choice was that he would give David $500,000, but David would have to help kill Emily, because his wife's betrayal was an unbearable humiliation for Stephen. 2 days later, David arrived at his house carrying an empty suitcase. To implement this perfect plan, Stephen had made careful preparations. He took David to the rooftop and told him all the blind spots of the surrounding surveillance cameras. He also specially made a magnetic iron box, attaching the key to the water pipe to ensure he could smoothly enter the room. He told David that he would be playing cards with friends that evening. At 10 o'clock, he would call home on time. When Emily answered the phone, that would be the moment for him to act. But what David didn't know was that Stephen was actually doing this for his wife's huge insurance payout. That evening, Stephen waited until Emily got home before preparing to leave. He secretly took her keys and placed them at the back door, deliberately leaving the latch open before kissing Emily goodbye. After Stephen left, Emily ran her bathwater, preparing to take a hot bath. Little did she know that a figure in black was quietly sneaking in through the back door. Meanwhile, Stephen at the card table had no interest in playing cards. He would turn his head from time to time to glance at the clock on the wall. As the appointed time approached, Steve took out his phone from his suit pocket and called the company. Having established a call record with the company, he took advantage of when those around him weren't paying attention to secretly hide the phone, then pulled out an identical phone from another pocket and called home. At the very moment his wife picked up the phone, tragedy struck.